Welcome to Rural Strong Live, tonight presented by Massey Ferguson, and it's Heston brand. This year, Massey Ferguson celebrates its 175th anniversary, Heston 75 years, and we invite you to come celebrate with them at the Farm Progress Show, which is going to be coming up August 30th through September 1st in Boone, Iowa. I'm going to be there. We're going to set up a mobile studio. We're going to do some interviews there. We're going to do some social media check-ins. So I hope if you're going to be coming to Boone, Iowa, I know a lot of people are coming for Farm Progress 2022. I hope you'll come and say hi. We'd love to get to talk to you. Our special guest tonight is a rising star in country music who's drawn acclaim for some of the most discerning critics in new album that's set to release here next month. We can't wait to tell you all. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I don't know what happened. I
Oh.
thunderstorms coming through, but thank you so much for having me. I'm just so hyped and psyched actually to be here with you. So thank you.
Well, it wouldn't be a broadcast here if we didn't have something goofy going on here at the start of it. But let's get it
I,
out of the way right at the beginning of it, and then we can just roll on through this, huh?
I like it.
How have you been?
I've been phenomenal, but I was just saying I want to come to Iowa now. I
There
want to
you
be
go.
in person, face to face. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I tell you what, that is a big show. They rotate every year between Boone, Iowa, and Decatur, Illinois. It was in Decatur the last two times because the last time it should have been in Boone, Iowa, it was canceled due to COVID. So it's been 4 years since it's been back there. So everybody's really looking to get back there to Boone, which is up there near Ames, Iowa, and not far from Des Moines. And it's going to be a big time. You know, it's kind of the kickoff for the next cycle of farm shows. It kind of runs from about late August up to about April. And yeah, you know, people are looking at the newest and latest and greatest in innovations and equipment for the upcoming year, and a lot of product rollouts, a lot of meetings, a lot of networking, a lot of deals will get done during those days in Boone, and we're excited to be there with the folks from Massey Ferguson who have been great supporters of us here with Real Strong Media and Real Strong Live. So cool time. Well, I tell you what, again, you've got a lot going on here. New album getting ready to drop. But for folks who don't know about you, you're a native of Monroe, Louisiana, living in Nashville, but splitting time between there and the St. Louis area. Tell us a bit about your background and how you became involved in the country music industry.
You know what? It started way back when I was a little bitty girl. I grew up listening to the late great Mr. Charlie Pride, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, and a lot of the older ones, and Dolly Parton and what have you. But I grew up singing in a choir, and being from Louisiana, I mean, you go to church all the time, so your faith is strong. You're a God lover. In my family, anyway, we're God lovers, and we do what we need to do. But unfortunately, when my biological father passed away some years ago, I just knew it was the path that I was supposed to actually take. And I just went all for it. I mean, because it's all country music has always been in my heart, in my soul. It's always been who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was only fitting after I did some long hard praying about it. And that was honestly the direction that God was leading me to. And here I am doing music. And I tell you one thing, when I'm doing music, I mean, I'm sure I'm touching other people, but I'm touching myself too, in the fact that it seems like the world comes to a standstill, and no matter what's going on in your life, it seems like everything's going to be okay. Just keep believing, and it's just the melodies, the tunes, and stuff like that just inspire me just to keep living life to the fullest.
When did you really start to discover your voice as far as singing and songwriting?
You know what? I used to write songs when I was a little girl. And I when I was a lot younger, I kind of thought I had my voice, but growing up, I grew up in a household full of singers, and everyone was phenomenal singers. And I just didn't find my voice or my niche, or I didn't have the confidence. I don't think I honestly got the confidence until my father passed away. And I knew that, you know what, we only get one life to live. So, do it unafraid, and do it afraid, do it afraid, do it unafraid, just do it.
Just do
Uh,
it.
so you don't have those regrets in life. And I just went for it, and I just learned that my uniqueness, my voice, it's me, it's unique to who I am. And you know what, I celebrate it and I embrace it.
When we last talked, you had dropped a few singles here, and I wanted to revisit one of those now so folks who haven't heard your music can get up to speed. The song Country Choir should resonate with our audience. Tell us a bit about this song and what it means to you.
Country choir means, hey, you know what? I might be from the country, and some people may say I'm a country bumpkin or what have you. But at the end of the day, it's that faith, it's that pride, it's that hard work, it's the core of who I am. And at the end of the day, I'll go out and I'll work hard, but God and faith is the head of my life. And it just honestly comes back to that. No matter what people say about you being from a small town in the country, it is that country that makes you who you are, and you should just embrace and celebrate it.
And that's the definition of rural strong right there. That's why we wanted to have her on tonight here. And before we get going, we want to set the table with this one. This is Country Choir.
From a country critic wannabe that folks are getting tired of backwoods songs. He said, what's with all that southern pride? Pickup trucks and tractor rides, the honky-tonks and bonfire sing-alongs. Well, excuse me, sir, you think you have a clue? You don't know us better than we do. Daughters kicking it up down in the holler. We wear boots with the mini skirts. We work hard, but we don't miss church. One part tender, two parts tough. We're fire and brimstone, grace and love. We say amen to the songs that we've inspired. So turn the radio up, it's preaching to the country choir. If you never heard the sounds of Georgia crickets chirp or the roar of a Texas high school football crowd, it's not our fault if you haven't seen the midnight stars over Tennessee or a Mississippi moonbeam touching down. It's the life we know and love. It's a part of us we're not giving up. Kicking it up down in the holler. We wear boots with the mini skirts. We work hard, but we don't miss church. One part tender, two parts tough. We're fire and brimstone, grace and love. We say amen to the songs that we've inspired. So turn the radio up, it's preaching to the country choir. Preaching to the country choir. One part tender, two parts tough. We're fire and brimstone, grace and love. We say amen to the songs that we've inspired. So turn the radio up, it's preaching to the country choir. Preaching, preaching to the country. We're preaching.
And the congregation said amen.
Amen.
I love it. Great stuff there. Great way to start the show out tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who's tuning in tonight. Glad to have you along with us as we chat with Brei Carter. She's got a new album coming out here next month, and I've been doing just some great work here the last couple years. Another song you released late last year was a cover of the Charlie Pride classic, Kiss an Angel, Good Morning.
Yes.
Why did you choose that song? And tell me a bit about what Charlie meant to you.
You know what? I chose that song because when I was a little girl, when I was a little girl, my father actually used to sing that song to me. When I actually, as a kid, I also grew up in Portland, Oregon. So him singing that song, it was just near and dear to me. So the late Mr. Charlie Pride, I knew him like when I was a toddler. So it was just near and dear to me. And then just the late just Mr. Charlie Pride, honestly being a trailblazer and just all that he did and him just being a great representation, not just in country music, but also for African Americans and what have you. It was just a great influence. He was a positive guy. He was a positive man, and he just did a lot of great things. And that in itself, it was just very fitting that I did a song that represented him. And the amazing thing is that when I initially decided to do that song, I was hoping and praying that one day he would actually hear it and we could actually do that cover together.
Mm.
But unfortunately, he passed away. But the wonderful thing about it is that his wife heard it, Miss Rosine. She gave her blessings on the song. She gave her blessings on the video. And that in itself meant a lot. And to me, I'm like, okay, Mr. Charlie Pride smiling down from heaven, and he's giving his blessings through his wife. So that in itself, it just meant a lot. Just Kiss an Angel. And honestly, that song, if you take a step back with everything that we dealt with the pandemic and what have you, you know what? Kiss those loved ones. Say I love you. Do those things while you have an opportunity, because tomorrow isn't promised to anyone. So all y'all out there, kiss all your angels while you have an opportunity, because it's not promised to us.
Absolutely. And great way to carry on his legacy. And I love what Billboard Magazine's Jessica Nicholson had to say about it. She says, Carter gives the timeless Pride hit a modern sheen, and it capably serves as a showcase for her powerful voice. And when you hear that, that's got to feel good, huh?
It feels amazing, amazing. So just for her to, do that write up and what have you, and it wasn't anything that was solicited. She heard it, and they actually reached out, and just by her doing that just meant a lot. It just reinforces or reaffirms that, what, I'm on the right path no matter what. For every door that closes, in your face, or for every no, there's going to be that yes. And there's going to be the right people will see you at the right time. So that's what it means.
Which is a challenge for this business because there are plenty of roller coaster moments, aren't there?
You know what? There are, but I don't want to get off. I take the good and the bad. I'll take the highs and lows. I just honestly, at this point now that I'm in, I couldn't imagine life without it, if that makes sense. So it's who I am, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I've stepped out on faith and I'm actually doing it.
Right. Well, and we talk about critics here. I want to pull up something else that the legendary music critic Robert K. Orman said. He called you a feisty, sprightly country singer songwriter. And he's a guy that doesn't mince words. And if he throws any praise your way, you got to take it and run with it, don't you?
Oh my goodness! Look, I'm running. Look, I'm not doing a marathon. I'm sprinting with his words.
Right.
Amazing. I'm just honored and blessed. And he even had a write up on another song that I had, my last single release. So that in itself, I'm like, okay, Lord, someone's listening, someone sees me, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And honestly, at the end of the day, that means a lot. And we know there are going to be critics. Country Choir talks about it. They're critics and the same old songs and the honky tonks and what have you.
Right.
It's the life we live. It's who we are. And it's sharing those stories. And by us sharing stories, other people can relate, because it's not only my story, it's your story, it's other people's story as well.
Absolutely. Well, before we talk about the new stuff, I want to share with our listeners another one that has always struck a chord with me, especially the first time I heard it as a father of 4 daughters. That's Gave Him a Girl. Tell us about that song.
Gave Him a Girl. Hey, like, I'm from Louisiana. It's my story. I grew up, my grandfather used to hunt, and my uncles and what have you, and I used to go with them. So when people were like, oh, you can skin a coon with your hands, I'm like, I know how to skin a coon. Come on now. You're not going to just rip it apart and skin it. You got to use the knife. The knife starts it off. And then, yeah, you got to skin it. You got to use your hands to go ahead and do the rest of it. But yeah, it's my story. I mean, I was in the military. I drive a Jeep. I know how to change it, the flat on the tire. And you get out there and you do the hard work and do what you need to do. So in other words, you know what, fathers out there, you may have a daughter, but you're getting the best of both worlds if you do it right. Embrace, right. Celebrate us.
Absolutely. We're going to roll this one here for you for a little inspiration. This is It Gave Him a Girl.
had the queen bee bully of the 5th grade. Always in my face, always something to say. There's only so much that a girl can take. She never saw it coming when I didn't back down. Right hook flying and she hit the ground. She should have known from my family name, I ain't just a pretty face. I can pull a hook from a largemouth that's a skin of coon with my bare hands. Know my way to 4th gear on an old John Deere. Camel cap on these curls, a little tomboy in diamonds and pearls. Daddy wanted a boy, wanted a boy. Mama gave him a girl, gave him a girl, gave him a girl. Mama gave him a girl, gave him a girl, gave him a girl. Daddy made sure I can tear down, clean up a 30-06. Yeah, to this day I can handle her. Get a flat on my tread, yeah, I can turn a wrench. Change a muddy tire on a Wrangler. Mama might have made me wear pink. Daddy taught me how to drink. I can pull a hook from a largemouth basket in a coon with my bare hands. Know my way to 4th gear on an old John Deere. Camel cap on these curls, a little tomboy in diamonds and pearls. Daddy wanted a boy, wanted a boy. Mama gave him a girl, gave him a girl, gave him a girl. Spin a little Marvin Gaye and some Chardonnay while the cowgirls taking me away. Mama kept the girl in me true. Oh, my daddy did too. My daddy did too. I can pull a hook from a largemouth that's in a coon with my bare hands. Know my way to 4th gear on an old John Deere. Camel cap on these curls, a little tomboy in diamonds and pearls. Daddy wanted a boy, wanted a boy. Yeah, they got the best of both worlds. Mama gave him a girl, gave him a girl, gave him a girl. Mama gave him a girl, gave him a girl, gave him a girl. That's me.
Fun video. Do you like doing videos?
I love it. I love it. I just think back because it's something. Although mama gave him a girl, the wonderful thing is that my mom, her favorite pastime is honestly it's fishing.
Uh-huh.
I grew up fishing. My mom loves to fish. She can spend countless hours out on the fishing banks and just hanging out there all day. So it's so relaxing. You get to think about nothing and you get to just be. So yeah, it was really good making that video and then honestly just going back watching it and listening to the lyrics. So yes.
Probably a good place to think through some song lyrics, huh?
Yes.
There been any songs that have been contrived there on the fishing banks?
Actually, there have been. So
Yeah.
you'll hear some of them on the new album coming out.
So, tell me about that whole creative process. Singing, songwriting, videos, because it all taps into kind of that same part of the brain where you get to really flex that creative muscle.
You know what? Every day of writing a song is different. There's no 2 times that's going to be the same, even whether I write alone or write with someone else. But it's just wonderful to put those thoughts. And then when I write, it's not always my story. Sometimes it could be something that I've heard, a story of a friend or something like that, and just telling it from a different perspective, but my view on it. But it's always a great thing, and just the video because you just get an opportunity just to bring it to life, and other people can actually see it, and it's not just listening to the words, but you put the vision behind it, and it's always just great. And you know what? Even though it's long, hard work, and it's hard work sometimes, it's so worth it. I honestly I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right. Well, I tell you what, you've been kicking around Nashville for a few years now. I've had a chance to really see pretty much every facet of the business. How comfortable do you feel with the business side of music?
You know what? I feel very comfortable with the business side of it only because I've been in corporate America. I've been in the military. I went to college. I got my bachelor's, my master's, and even a doctorate. So I'm very comfortable with the business side of music or anything. It's just now doing, but everyone has their lane and their role. Although I know the business side of it, I prefer to have the right powers that be manage that and let me continue to tap into the creative side and do what I love the most and just kind of make a difference in people's lives from that aspect and let someone else, it's just another opportunity for someone else being able to run the business side versus me having to do that as well.
Well, now everybody's seen you handle a rifle in that video. They probably know there's no funny business, right?
There's no funny business whatsoever.
Well, I tell you what, up to today, you've been working on a lot of singles, put out a lot of fabulous singles here. But in September, you're going to be releasing your debut, brand new country. Tell me a bit about the whole process of putting that together. You know, the team that you've assembled for that, and just kind of reading through the list. Very, very interesting cast of characters there.
Oh my goodness. The wonderful thing about brand new country is you're going to get something from everywhere. You're going to get stuff from Nashville. You're going to get stuff from Clarksville. You're going to get stuff from Atlanta. You're going to get stuff from St. Louis. You're going to get all of me and different aspects of it. And then also just different producers coming together. And each and every one of them having a certain unique sound in their mind and something that they hear in my voice. And everyone is pulling something different and unique from my voice, which makes it so wonderful and different things that they hear. So my publicist Jason, he's like, oh, it's really it's an eclectic group of country blending and putting together, and it's a little bit, some of it it's true country, but it's blending different genres together too. So that's the wonderful thing. You know, I started the project brand new country years ago, but it's just now finally coming forward, coming, coming full circle. So that I'm so proud of that. But the latest music that I worked with is with Mr. Kurt Ryle out of Clarksville. He's amazing,
Right.
hears different things. And that's the wonderful thing about all the producers. They can hear different things in your voice and they can pull different things out of you just to make you better. So I can't wait for it to come out. I can't wait for everyone to hear it and go out and subscribe and buy it and all of the above. I there's going to be something for everyone on the album. I guarantee you.
And Kurt's worked with everybody from Mel Tillis to Taylor Swift, and everybody in between. So definitely an honor to be able to work with him.
Yes, amazing. We even did a cover of Ray Price as well. That one's not on this album. That's coming soon too, but just not right now. We got to save some of the good for later.
How important was it for you to really put your own stamp on it, not really fall into kind of a cookie cutter formula of this artist or that artist or this sound or that sound, but to really kind of develop your own sound and your own footprint?
You know what? I've just learned along the way we don't need another Miranda. We don't need another Dolly, another Loretta. You know, they're unique in their own right. We need a Brei Carter. I wanted to be myself in doing it. You know, some people say, oh, you don't sound like this person or you don't sound like that person. I wanted to honestly sound like myself in everything that I do. And my singing is I'm more in the lower registry. And my voice, there's some, maybe you'll probably hear some gospel tones or a little soulfulness to it. And I've just learned to honestly embrace and celebrate my voice and where I am at this stage and just celebrate being unique. The world needs more unique people and not someone trying to be someone else. So just with that the decision was made. We want you to be you. We just want to make sure we're pulling out the best you that there is.
Well, then I look down the list and I see Will Washington, aka Will Power, who's worked with Eminem and with Wiz Khalifa, and then Bridgetown, who's worked with Mary J. Blige, Neo, and Trey Songz. And you've got St. Louis-based hip hop producer Frederick Pirine there. That how did all those relationships come together, and what do they bring to the table?
You know what they bring something different and unique. And starting with Willpower, because he has worked with so many people, he has his different perspective and just his beat and his energy, all of that. He hears something different than what he hears and the people that he's worked with. And they've dabbled a little bit in country, and I guess I was the trial part of all of that. And even with Fred, they've all loved country and they wanted to do it. So I think I just got a little bit of mix of all of them. in doing this project, which I fully embraced it. It was like, hey, let's do it. Bring it on. What can we do if, after all, music has no boundaries, it has no colors. Music just loves and it just does. So hey, let's create music that loves and it does, and hopefully, prayerfully, other people will feel it, and then they'll take on and they'll be a part of it.
Love it. Well, the most recent single was released in May. It's called Payback. So what can you tell us about that one?
You know, honey, paybacks are hell. Talks about karma and treating people right, and you just don't know. Like I said it earlier, life is just precious. Just treat people right, do good, and you may think you've gotten away with something, and you may, treat someone bad, but one day it's going to come back to you. So you just have to be careful. Older lady once said to me, you know what, baby, God will get me for what I do to you, but he's going to get you for what you do too. So just be right. At the end of the day, just be right, because paybacks are hell, and nobody wants to be on the end of paybacks.
So tell me about the video for this one. Really neat video for it.
You know what? I'm just going to be totally truthful. The video, I had two different videographers that kind of came together, but because unfortunately they were using two different cameras, it just didn't blend and it didn't work. And then one of them, Heather, was just like, I really think with what we've come up with, sometimes there's no accidents. Things happen how they're supposed to happen, even when we don't understand. She's like, you know what? I think we really need to kind of make it a little retro, put it on an older television. So maybe some of the imperfections that occurred during the video, you know what? It can be masked, and it really comes together, and it does what it needs to do. And it takes you back to old school, how you grew up. Treat people how you want to be treated. So if you think about the old retro television and all the things and where we are today, go back to the things that you learned way back when, and, and just be good and treat people right.
Well, that's cool. I'm a big fan. I think it's quirky, and I do think it works. So that's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and roll this, and we'll let everybody else be the judge when we get off here. Weigh in, and also let us know where you're watching from tonight. I'd love to hear from you. Here it is. This is Brei Carter's latest, Paybacks, on Real Strong Live.
Sometimes I cry when you cross my mind, and I might get lonely some of the time, but today I'm not crying. No, today I ain't blue. I'm no longer buying any more lies from you. Paybacks are hell. There's no denying. Hell ain't no palm tree, sweet tea, ocean wave, paradise island. And you made your choices. Yeah, honey, I wish you well. You won't see it coming. No, 'cause paybacks are hell. Might be tomorrow, but it could be tonight. So look over your shoulder. When time is right, baby, it's gonna hit ya. Oh, and baby, it's gonna sting. So here's to the memory Yeah, honey, I wish you well. You won't see it coming. No. Paybacks are hell. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Paybacks are hell. There's no denying. And hell ain't no palm tree, sweet tea, ocean wave, paradise island. And you made your choices. Yeah, honey, I wish you well. You won't see me coming. No. 'Cause paybacks are hell. No, you won't see me coming. Yeah. Paybacks are hell. Honey, paybacks are hell. Paybacks are hell.
Good old country song right there.
Paybacks are hell, huh?
I like that one. That's a solid song there. And get a nice comment here from our friend Dennis Ledbetter, who is a great artist in his own right, was featured on Tractors and Troubadours a couple of weeks ago. So thanks to Dennis for checking in here and listening. Guy doing it out of Louisiana. That great traditional country music artist. So the next single to radio is going to be called Stronger Than That. That's going to be dropping soon. That was produced by Jason Wyatt and co-written with Wayne Burton. And that's really a story about your experiences growing up.
Yes, yes. And it's amazing. They say God puts no more on us than we can handle. And it's just kind of digging in and trusting him at the end of the day. And even sometimes, like today's been a rough day, but when you think about it, when you trust God and once you make it through whatever you're going through, you're just like, wow, I didn't know I was stronger than that situation. And it just builds your faith. Someone reminded me today, they said, you know what, God didn't say there were going to be trials and tribulations. Trials and tribulations are going to come, but they come only to make you stronger. And when they come, it's just, you got to dig in even more. And that's where your toughness comes. And you got to believe it. You got to believe even more. So that's honestly, we're stronger than that. So no matter what anyone has been through or is going through, you're stronger than that situation that you're in or that you've been through. You just got to keep hope. As they say, keep hope alive. And it's a cliche, but keep believing, just stay hopeful. And you'll see someday you'll make it out of that. And it's amazing. Once you make it out of that storm, you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, I never would have thought it. But you're stronger than whatever you've been through or you're going through.
Right. So when is that single going to hit radio?
September 16th with the album.
Gotcha.
Right along the same time. And that's the one we're taking to radio. So it's going to be available. So you guys can go and click. You can pre-save it. Get ready for it. It's just going to be a good reminder. You're going to want that on your playlist. And just a reminder on a day-to-day that you're stronger than whatever you've been through or you're going through now.
Great message. So be on the lookout for that one. Something else you had the opportunity to do here recently. Pretty cool. A couple months back, you played on the spotlight stage of the CMA Fest in Nashville. What was that like?
OMG. Oh my goodness. It was amazing. It was my debut. Oh my goodness. Craig Morgan. Yes. It was just a blessing. Everything, like I said, everything happens how it's supposed to happen, but it was great. And, some people may say, oh, the spotlight stage, it's only the beginning. I'm a believer. It was amazing just being there. And someone said, oh my goodness, I'm pretty sure it was just like you were just running all around. It was totally different on the artist side versus the fan side. I tell you one thing, I love the side I was on. I want to be on the artist side. I want to be out there, making people feel good and making people happy. So
Right.
I love the side that I was on. And although it was totally crazy and chaotic, I'll take that crazy and chaotic any and every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, the thing I find fascinating about you is that you're really a Renaissance woman. You're into music, but you also spent time, as you mentioned earlier, serving the country in the Army. Thank you for that, by the way. You got a bachelor's in business from the University of Louisiana at Monroe, a master's in international relations from Webster University, and a doctorate in theology from the New Foundation Theological Seminary. So bring us up to speed on what's going on with you outside of music these days.
You know what? I've been doing a little bit of writing. I'm looking at ways that I can give back and kind of help out. I really want to find my passion is really to do something for mental health, because it's just so vital today. And it's just a fine line. They say it's a fine line between love and hate. It's a fine line between a healthy brain, a healthy mindset, and self care, and not having that. So I want to find ways that I can give back in that area. But not only that, also with veterans out there, they've signed on the dotted line, and unfortunately, if you look around, probably at least 75% of those that are out there homeless are veterans. And it's very sad and it's very disheartening. So I think right now my path is first and foremost music and God. But other than that, it's really right now, I just want to find ways to center and focus on giving back and making a difference in other people's lives.
Right. Well, I tell you what, it doesn't get any better than that, too. And you bring up, military veterans struggling, and all that we can do to reach out for them. Definitely. Also, just mental health on the farm. So many. It's a huge topic here, and it's one that we continue to beat the drum on here, and will continue to on the show because it's so important. So, thank you for all that you're doing, and will do in that realm.
Thank you. Just I want everyone to know you're not alone. You got help out there. And sometimes, and I grew up in a rural area, so rural strong is my love all the way, through and through. But you got someone, you're not out there. You may be out on a farm, you're not alone. Reach out and touch, reach out and call, and know that there are people that, even if you don't know, there are people that are still praying for you and believing in you. So, don't go through anything alone.
So you'll be dropping the album here next month. What is the rest of 22 looking like for you into 2023? Is there going to be any live performances in the future, or what's on the docket there?
Yes, no, we got the Josie Music Awards coming up.
Yes.
Award. So I've been nominated for Modern Country Female Singer of the Year, Modern Country Song of the Year with Gave 'Em a Girl. And I'm super psyched about that. That's in October time. I'll be performing at the JMA Josie Music Award Festival that they'll have down in Nashville. Actually planning a short tour, possibly with Scott Haggart, one of Merle Haggard's sons. So we're doing some collaborations together. He's got an interesting story to tell, and we're gonna take it on the road. And there's power in numbers. And one of my girlfriends, she's just like, hey, you know what? We're all different and unique. We're gonna put a bunch of misfits together. We're gonna go out and we're gonna tell our story to the world, and other people are gonna ideally embrace it because we're so yes.
So you've been plugged into this Nashville scene here for a while now. Where do you hope to see this career take you, and what kind of goals have you set for yourself?
Honestly, I want to be a household name. This isn't just the beginning. The only way that I can really have a platform and make a difference and really help the veterans and do something on a much larger scale is to be a household name and to take it all the way. So this isn't a hobby. This is something that I plan on going all the way with, using my God-given talent and my drive and what have you, and my determination to take it all the way. CMA Awards, baby, here I come someday. I don't know when. Only God knows the time and the when and the place and the how. But I want to go all the way. I want the awards. I want to be the household name. I want to make a difference. I want to be a voice for those that feel like they don't have a voice. And that's my direction. And I won't stop until I get there.
I love it. It seems like you're connecting with the right people along the way too.
Thank you. I'm praying I am.
How much does that factor in from a creativity standpoint? Just getting people around you that kind of stoke that fire a little bit, and people that you can bounce ideas off of, and people that'll be authentic with you.
You know what? I think it plays a huge part in who I am and where I am today. And honestly, you can have a ton of people around you, but at the end of the day, you reach a certain point in your life and you want the right people. So you want people that are going to be real and be true, because you can get all the other superficial things out there in no man's land, but you want those that are near and dear and close to you. And the things that people that you collaborate with, you want them to be real with you. I mean, every day and everything you do is going to be great. And you want those candid conversations just so you can get better. That's the only way that you can get better. We should all honestly want that.
Right, right. Well, I tell you, as far as your songwriting goes these days, where are you drawing inspiration from?
You know what? Everywhere, just life in general. It never stops with life. I mean, there's always a story when you turn on the news. There's a story when you call your one of your best friends. There's a story when you call your brother, your sister, or you talk to your parents. There's always a story. It's, all the stories aren't good. Sometimes the stories are mean and ugly, but there's always a story, that's out there, and people need to hear it. It's just a reminder. In my upcoming album, I have a song called "Love Don't Look Like This." Love don't look like this. And the amazing thing is that, honestly, love isn't abusive. It's not, there's no hatred. That's not true love. So it's just awareness, and it's letting people know that, hey, you know what, if you're dealing with these things, you need to seek help. You need to get help, honestly.
So, as far as your writing goes, what's your process look like? Are you one that'll stop and jot stuff down as you go, or speak it into your phone, or do you schedule it?
In my phone, I will sing a tune or a melody that I get. I will write in my note section a song. I will be talking on the phone with someone, and they'll give me something, and I'll automatically, wait a minute, say that again. And I'm jotting it down. I'll wake up in the middle of the night or the wee hours of the morning. And if it hits me, I'm going to write it down and I'm going to do it, because you never know where inspiration comes from and when the Holy Spirit's going to give you something to write. And whenever it hits you, just do it. You can't pass up those opportunities, because you don't know the signals. And I just say there are little messages from angels that are just giving you just another pearl, you know,
Yes.
bag.
Are you one that studies good songwriting?
You know what? I've done a little bit of that, but I want to almost say I'm ashamed to say no, I hadn't studied good songwriting. I just do it from the heart, and I do it a certain way with other experts and what have you. And we put pen to paper.
Uh-huh. Well, I tell you what, we are pulling for you here to reach all those goals here, and starting out with the Josies. I think that's awesome that you're able to do that, and for folks who are unfamiliar, that'll be in October down in Nashville, and if you happen to be in the area, they're going to do a little festival with that. That's going to be in Music Valley this year, so make sure you get to that and bring a bunch of talented artists. I was just looking at that lineup the other day. I wish I would have had it here since you mentioned that. A couple really a couple of different stages, and they're going to be packed with some really great artists. So if you get a chance, go Google that Josie Music Awards in Nashville, Tennessee, and go check that out. And best of luck to you with that for sure. But if folks want to know more about your career, want to follow along with what you're doing, download your music, all that good stuff, where can they go to do that?
You guys go on my website, breicarter.com. That's BREICARTER. Everybody wants to spell it like the cheese. I say I'm better than the cheese. It's REICARTER, breicarter.com. And then on all the platforms, even on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, Amazon Music, it's Brei Carter. And you guys can easily find me. Follow me, like me, love me, all of the above. I'll do it back. I'll do the same for you. So thank you.
Excellent. Well, Brei, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us here tonight, and invite you to come back anytime to share that new music with us here. We'd love to have you back time and again and just talk about more of those successes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all real strong. Have an amazing day. Be safe, be blessed, and stay strong.
And we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us, and invite you to come back again next week. Well, my special guest is going to be Phoebe White, who's the 12-year-old yodeling cowgirl. She recorded her first album with Riders in the Sky, Kentucky bluegrass legends, the McLean Family Band, and friend of the show, Michael Jonathan. So that's going to be next Tuesday, which is August 23rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central. So hope you join us for that one. In the meantime, we invite you to subscribe to the Tractors and Troubadours podcast, where each week we bring you agriculture industry newsmakers, hot button industry issues, educational features, and the best in traditional country music. The Tractors and Troubadours radio show podcast can be found at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Deezer, Audible, Odyssey, and the new Samsung free app. We also invite you to check out our website, ruralstrongmedia.com, where we feature tractors and troubadours, the Ag Women Strong podcast, blogs, educational features. Also, Rural Strong Radio, which is something I'm really excited about here, our 24/7 streaming radio station, which brings you ag programming along with traditional country music as well as bluegrass, southern rock, and inspirational music. We've got some Charlie Pride on there. We've got some independent artists on there. We'll throw some Brei Carter on there. We've got a little bit of everything 24/7. That's streaming. You can find that at ruralstrongmedia.com. Also, the Live 365 app. So I hope you go and check that out. Something else we're really excited about here. Rural Strong Radio has Mark Oppold's The Bottom Line Report each weekday, 6:58 a.m. Eastern and 11:58 a.m. Eastern. Mark Oppold, who is a veteran farm broadcaster, brings you some commentary for the commodities markets and does just a great job bringing his insights. It's the lead in to Tractors and Troubadours for the 7 o'clock and noon hours. So make sure you go check him out, 6:58, 11:58 a.m. Eastern. Mark Oppold's The Bottom Line Report. And something else we're really excited about as well, each Sunday morning from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, Sunday's Kind of Country with my buddy Robbie Lynn. He brings you 3 hours of inspirational music from some of the biggest stars in country music history, as well as some emerging artists. And just a great way, uplifting way to start out the new week here, to recenter and refocus, and just some great music. So I hope you tune in to Sunday's Kind of Country with Robbie Lynn, 10 a.m. Eastern each Sunday on Rural Strong Radio. Again, find that at ruralstrongmedia.com or the Live 365 app. And we want to say a big shout out again to our sponsor, Massey Ferguson and their Heston brand, and thank them for their support of Rural Strong Media, the Rural Strong Live Show, as well as Tractors and Troubadours. And again, invite you to come on down to Boone, Iowa. That's going to be August 30th through September 1st for the Farm Progress Show. We're going to be set up there in the Massey Ferguson exhibit. 3 days of just wall-to-wall activity, and just praying for a great time there, for some great weather, some great fellowship, and some time just to learn and talk about the industry here. So I hope you'll join us for that. If you're in the area, I hope you do stop by and say hi. We'd love to meet you and learn more about you. And on that note, the clock on the wall tells us it's time to get on out of here. So for now, for Brent Adams, it's been a great night here. Bree, thank you again for spending time with us.
Thank you so much for having me. Be safe, be blessed.
We hope everybody else will join us again here, 7 o'clock Eastern next Tuesday night. I want to make sure we get that right, Tuesday night, as we chat with Phoebe White. So for now, for Bree, Brent Adams, have a good night, everybody.